Okay, so for all the fans watching, welcome to Martin van Staden to Mzansi and IWL Sport. For those who don't know, Martin will be facing Angola's Shito Soto at UAE Warriors on February 24th. He joins a contingent of South Africans and SA-based fighters, including Zakir Badat, Cedric Doyle, Sitembisi Khadebe, Tapiwe Katikati, and Pupanga Trezo is the latest name on the card. I think it's Martin's teammate. I'm not sure if you guys are still training together.
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Which will be a triple header UAE Warriors fight card. Very exciting. Martin, it's just to confirm, is it a welterweight fight you're competing in?
Yeah, yes it is. We'll be at 170.
Okay, awesome stuff. And then also, Martin, obviously you're a former EFC lightweight champion, multiple time welterweight contender, and now you're fighting in another global organization where you could not have asked for a better start after beating your first UAE opponent. I think in true Punisher style almost. Just tell us your thoughts on your experience in UAE Warriors thus far.
Yeah, the organization was really amazing, man. The guys really put on a good show. They take good care of you. I mean, we fly a week before, put us up in a 5-star hotel, meals included, gym, everything you need, saunas. So yeah, it's very, very well run, and they take good care of us there, I must say. First time fighting international promotion, but yeah, it's chalk and cheese, I must say, compared to back here.
No, I'm happy for you, brother. I'm happy. I think something I always wanted to ask you, Martin, in your last fight, and this is no disrespect to Zico, BIH, Coach Siabi. I think they're a great gym, and I'm a big fan of them, what they're doing over there. I openly say that Coach Siabi is a great friend of mine, and I have so much respect for the way he's grown the gym also and his athletes. But I don't know, I just felt there was something, I don't know, was there something off in Martin van Staden that night? Or I don't know, there was even a point where you, I don't know if I heard, what's his name, one of your training partners want to actually engage with you and or explain something to you, and then you just said, Zico, come, almost like you wanted to brawl. I don't know, I might be wrong. I never tried to get in the fighter's head. I'm not the fighter you are. I just felt it was something that wasn't as composed van Staden as I would usually see. I don't know. Can you explain to us, was it the off night or were you beaten fair and square? Can you just elaborate on that last fight?
Look, at the end of the day, you know, I got caught fair and square. Take nothing away from Biko. Man hits like a truck. So hard as I've ever been hit in my life, to be honest with you. The man can put, but really packs a punch. But look, we had a game plan strategy going into the fight. We thought he would gas. So my corner wanted me to push it out for another round just to make him exert a bit of energy. But I could see that he was slowing down a little bit. So I pushed the pressure on him, you know. I wanted to just see what he's got. And look, it was my mistake at the end of the day. The man caught me with some good shots and put me away. But I felt great on the night. I had a good camp. I worked hard. So this is one of those nights, man. You can never predict anything like that. I mean, that was my 40th fight of my career.
Sure.
First time I've ever been stopped like that, you know. So it was bound to happen, you know what I mean? Every dog has his day.
Yeah.
You know, I've put 20 guys away in my career like that by TKO. So yeah.
I was just gonna say, now you usually on the other side of those kind of finishes. People are not used to seeing that happen to you.
Yeah, 100%. No, there was nothing off. Just fought my fight. Maybe, you know, you coulda, woulda, shoulda. You always go back and you'll think what you could have done differently, but that's just the way it played out at the end of the day, you know. You learn from it and you move on.
I respect that, and thank you for your honesty, brother.
No, sweet.
I remember also, I think it was in Cape Town after your Dave Mazani fight, you said this profound statement. You said, guys, I don't like wrestling. I don't know if you remember that. And for those who don't know Martin van Staden very well, he's very well rounded. Obviously he enjoys his stand-up. He's a ruthless finisher. But I just wanted to ask you also, I don't think I ever asked you after that, Martin, do you feel that you being that open and honest is something that can be to your detriment when it comes to major title fights? Or do you feel that, look, this is me, Martin van Staden, I'll be open? Because, you know, some guys are very tactical about what they say, or what they speak, what their likes and dislikes, because they're so paranoid about the opponents. But you just said it openly. And I think in the Joe Cummins fight after that, even it was a matter of, I think his game plan was to try to out wrestle you also. Can you just explain to us that mentality towards your fight game?
Yeah, look, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I say what I want to say. I'm not a type of guy that likes to wrestle and fights, but sometimes that could be the strategy, right? I like to make it entertaining at the end of the day, and people want to see people get knocked out, So that's why, look, if you look earlier in my career, I used to take guys down and beat them up, and that's how I used to get most of my finishes with TKOs. And then I started knocking guys out, and it kind of, I wouldn't say become obsessed with striking, but I just prefer striking, Use a lot of energy when you wrestle and grapple. But sure, look, you got to be well-rounded in this day and age. You can't prefer one or the other. So it's something that I've had to address and make the changes just mentally around the wrestling and the jiu-jitsu, because you got to be well. Because guys now, if you look at my last 4 or 5 fights except Biko, all the guys wrestle me. So that's all they look to do, is try to make contact, because they fear the striking so much.
Yeah.
So I had to kind of change my mindset around that, and I got to just fight more smart in a way, implement my game more in a way, whether it be wrestling or striking or whatever I can bring to the table to mix it up. Because the more well-rounded you are, the better, So I've worked hard on my wrestling. I've worked, even this guy I'm facing now, I'm not quite sure what his name is.
Shito.
Shito. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt as well, and he's competitive black belt, and all his finishes are come by submissions and TKOs on getting on guys' backs and finishing them. So I know what I'm dealing with, and I've prepared correctly. And yeah, I'm actually very excited for this fight.
Nice. I think that you actually answered my follow-up question. So considering the time allocation, and thanks to ESCOM, you've helped me there in that sense, Martin. Shot a lot. Martin, I was wondering, I've received a lot of questions around this topic, and I'm just glad that I can allow you to answer it yourself now, because the Dennis Siver situation back in the day, there were talks obviously about first of all, I think you were set to fight Dennis Siver at ACB Absolute Championship in Berkut in Stuttgart, Germany, for those who don't know. And an EFC employee obviously told me that Martin had the option to fight him, but he chose EFC. Now, I know EFC employees are obviously going to sell the brand first, because for Martin van Staden to say no to that brand and say yes to the EFC is obviously a big feather in their cap, because you took the lightweight title. But I know also Siver apparently got injured. Can you just give us what exactly happened in why that fight didn't take place? Was it because you chose to fight Gavin Hughes for the EFC lightweight title, which you won, or was it because Siver actually got injured and withdrew from the fight?
No, so we flew out. I was scheduled to fight Dennis Siver. I started cutting weight, and on the day before weigh-ins, apparently he got injured. He had apparently injured a shoulder in training. Whether that was true or not, I'm not sure. But I did see him the night at the ACB event, or now it's ACA, and he had his arm in a sling. So I don't know if it was just bad luck or what the situation was, but I was scheduled to fight him. Fight was confirmed, signed, and I flew into Stuttgart to compete against him. They even tried to find me a replacement there.
Sure, that's hectic. And just for those who don't know, Dennis Siver was the guy who competed against, for the fans out there who don't know, Siver was the guy who competed against Conor McGregor in the UFC, one of Conor's first fights in the UFC. Just to explain the magnitude or the status of this man. So in terms of who Martin was fighting and what it could have done for his career also. Martin, I'm just looking at that. Do you feel any frustration, the fact that fight fell through, because in what it could have done for your career also? Because I think that would have been
100%. Who knows what could have happened after that? I was very, very disappointed that fight didn't happen. But then look, I came back and I claimed lightweight gold at EFC, which is great.
Yep.
I've been chasing gold I spent 12 years fighting for this organization. I had 4 or 5 title shots at welterweight, coming short on multiple occasions, and then claiming the lightweight belt, and then having to defend it 4 months later against Mazani. You look back, there's a lot of things I could have done differently as well, but we are here now. I'm fighting internationally, and I'm just getting a taste of traveling and competing a bit, which is something I always wanted to do.
Nice. Thank you for that, man. Just tell us, what would you say is your most memorable moment in the cage? I mean, I know you have a highlight reel second to none. I mean, so many, but I mean, what stands out for Martin van Staden in terms of, I mean, I'm not saying, we're not speaking like your career's over, but so far looking back, I'm sure hundreds of moments, but what is do you hold closest to your heart in terms of whether it's a win or whether it's a specific moment shared with an opponent? I mean, I remember you had a beautiful moment with Joe Cummins after your fight in Cape Town, and he offered you also this beautiful memento. I think it was a bottle. I'm not even sure if it's whiskey or what, but I remember it was a beautiful moment. What stands out for Martin van Staden?
Yeah, I think obviously claiming the gold at lightweight, you know, I think that was an awesome achievement, and just to highlight chasing that gold for so long and actually putting my hands on it, you know. I think that is a very special moment. And back in my career, way back when I first fought Brian Ebersol, who at that stage in his career was like 60 fights or 70 fights in. And I think I had 13 fights, and I thought I was going to beat this guy, but he put such a wrestling clinic on me that it actually opened my mind a bit to what experience can do to a guy that's unexperienced, you know. And when I spoke to him afterwards, he said to me, "Bud, there was no ways you were going to beat me. I've had 70 fights under my belt, and you only had 12 or 13. There's no ways you were going to beat me." And that stuck with me. And it's something that I've carried with me for a long time, until now. Because you can't buy experience, bro. You know, there's no ways you can buy experience. So that's one of the moments that'll stick with me for a long time.
Okay, cool.
But there are many others. There's also the Jeremy knockout being my first loss in my career, because he handed me, I was 8-0 when he beat me the first time. For the first time, and then I got to rematch him 4 or 5 years later, and scoring the KO victory over him was also a very special moment for me. But no disrespect to the man.
Cool. Thank you for that, Martin. With regards to MMA in South Africa, it's growing at such a rapid rate now, and our athletes are getting our chance to be on much bigger promotions. You yourself included. What do you feel can be worked on to improve the landscape? And do you feel that our government and Department of Sports and Recreation and Culture, we are getting closer to finally recognizing MMA as a sport in South Africa? I know Serbia announced recently, I know Ireland announced recently, and I know slowly countries are coming to the party in terms of government. So what do you feel can be improved on in terms of bettering the future for the up-and-coming mixed martial artists in South Africa? Just your personal opinion, straightforward, whether it's problems of federations or what. Yeah,
look, I'm not too clued up with that, but all I can say is that EFC has given a lot of fighters here, including myself, a good platform for us to elevate ourselves. If you look at how many fighters have gone from here onto the big stage to UFC to one championship, it's amazing, you know, because we never had a platform. So I think EFC's in the right direction. They're doing the right things. I just think money's an issue in terms of, I don't know if they have money, don't have money, or what the situation is, but there needs to be more funding for guys. I mean, some guys fight for a couple $1,000 only, you know, and it doesn't even cover some of their medical bills, you know. So whether the government can get involved, I highly doubt that, because if you look at all our sports here, like all the athletes run away and they go overseas to make money. There's no money for sportsmen here unless you all play rugby, high-level cricket, soccer, obviously football. Yeah, even our swimmers couldn't get money for their gold medals at the Olympics or the championships. 100%. Yeah, so I don't think that'll ever happen. I just think what the sport needs here is a big investor maybe, or international brand to get involved, just so the guys can get paid some decent money and make it worth their while to actually compete, you know. Yeah. I don't have to be a weekend warrior. You're living fight to fight, you know. Yeah. It's tough. That's part of the reason I'm also looking to fight overseas and earn some dollar, because dollar goes a long way. True. And you were speaking now about looking back on your career also, and it's crazy. People were questioning your retirement a few years ago. And now you're on the verge of going on another big run in a very exciting and a very powerful promotion, and you're still looking in great shape. And you even said that once, I think not too long ago, you said that you were even in better shape than what you were in your 20s, I think, cardio perspective also, and you're still keeping up with the youngsters. And does Martin van Staden ever have a deadline, or are you just going to run with it until you feel I'm done with it? Because like I said, I remember you. Yeah, literally I turned 40 on Monday, right? So a lot of people have asked me, this past Monday. Yes, yes.
Happy birthday, brother, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And my answer is this: when I wake up one morning and I'm tired of the sport, I'll hang it up. As long as I'm physically and mentally capable, I'm gonna keep pushing the boundaries and keep doing this. I love competing. I love that thrill. I love working hard, and I love the challenge. So to say bye to this one day is going to be very, very difficult. So I'm going to try to push it. Someone's Chad said to me, you can fight until I'm 50. Chad, I know. I was like,
Yeah.
50 is pushing it, but maybe 43, 44. God willing, no serious injuries, but
yes.
we'll just keep going. You know, I could wake up tomorrow morning and go, I'm done with this, but I'm not in that head frame. And yeah, I'm still motivated more now than I've ever been. So, and I also know myself better now as well. You know, when you're younger, you don't really know how to train. You just mindless training. Now I understand my body. I know what I need. I know what it takes to compete. You know, I literally cut almost 10 kilos in 2 days when I cut weight. And guys are like, how do you do that? I said, because I'm doing it for 15 years. I know exactly what I need to do to make the weight. So, yeah, let's see what happens. There's no shelf life yet. I haven't put a date on it.
That's awesome. Good to know. Good to know. Martin, do you feel that fighters today have it much easier in terms of learning the fundamentals from scratch in comparison to the old school fighters coming with different backgrounds, like the old school style of a wrestler versus a boxer? In terms of now, youngsters are coming in. You don't even see them, label them as a stand-up or jiu-jitsu player. They coming in with all the fundamentals because that they learn from scratch. Do you feel that's going to stand our fighters more in good stead going forward, or do you still feel that naturally to have a certain background does it apply some sort of it has some sort of benefit?
No, of course. If you look at the younger generation, I see the kids at grappling competitions and feel like, you know, they do stuff that I don't even know how to do. You know, I mean, I've been fighting for 15 years. I think having a base from such a young age is really good. Not everybody's born to be a fighter, right? So some people have it, that natural instinct to be a fighter, or just natural fighters. Some people learn to become fighters. So I think it's different for everyone in a sense. But from where I see the sports is now, if you look at the talent at the youngsters and at what age they're starting to develop, it's actually very scary. I think it's a good thing.
Okay, cool. And then Martin, also, I think you in the car business, I don't know if you're buying and selling cars, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
Well, what will be your main focus when you do decide to hang up your gloves in whatever amount of years' time? Is it obviously family comes first, but do you want to maybe open up a gym as well, or do you just prefer being a student of the game and just keep on attending Coach Kwan and Coach Vessel's gym, and then just focus fully on your car business?
Yeah, look, I started this business 8 months ago. I have a huge passion for cars. I love cars.
Okay. What's the name of the business again?
Auto handler. So what I basically do is I assist people in selling their vehicles. So that's what I basically do to get them the best price possible. But after this, you know, I wouldn't say fighting has become a hobby for me, because it's a lifestyle at the end of the day. So I make sure I train at least once a day, some days twice a day, depending on the day, sometimes 3 times a day. So keeps me young, keeps me fit, and I'll always train. But in terms of a career, I don't know. I think car business is going well. Maybe one day open a garage. Yeah. Maybe open up a garage. There's a lot of opportunities out there to make money. Yeah. There's especially with Eskom around. I'm thinking about a second business now as well.
Solar energy, brother.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, whatever makes the money at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, money makes sense.
Yeah.
Martin, I might stand corrected here, but you are a Durban boy, originally.
Yes. I was born. Yeah, I was born in Addington Beach as a kid. Grew up in Durban, moved to Richards Bay, and then spent most part of my life in Durban up until about 28 in Durban South in Queensborough.
Okay. Any plans on ever moving back one day when you retire, when you made your millions with your car business and you're gonna buy you something nice along the coast there, or do you feel that Gauteng is for you and Monique and the kids? Are you gonna stay in Gauteng?
Listen, I've always wanted to move back to Durban. Whether it happens, I don't know, but maybe like one day, maybe about a holiday home there one day, who knows.
Nice.
But for now, my roots are up here in Joburg. We go down to Durban quite often, maybe 2-3 times a year.
Okay.
I do miss home. I miss the sea incredibly. But yeah, maybe buy a holiday home there when I make the millions, and then can spend more time down in Durban.
Nice.
But for now, I'm going to stay Joburg planted, and we'll see what happens in the future.
Okay, cool. And tell me something, do you surf any water sports?
No, I used to surf when I lived in Durban a little bit, but not too much.
Okay.
I fish a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I grew up fishing since I was 6-7 years old, down at the coast.
Nice.
My dad actually kept us out of school where we missed school for almost a whole year and all I did was fish. So I love the sea, and it's hard to find places up here to fish. I only bass fish up here. I've got a few mates up here that can fish, and we go out in their boats and stuff, but yeah, no water sports for me, only fishing.
Okay, cool. Martin, and then looking back on your career thus far now, what was the hardest lesson you've learned? And if you can impart any knowledge onto your children one day, or young students in the gym, what would that be? Be it now learning from mixed martial arts, just in general now, from the sport itself. What is the hardest lesson you learned, and what would you basically put forward to someone else who can maybe avoid that? I know sometimes it's actually important to learn lessons yourself, but what knowledge would you, if you had one thing to impart on your, let's say now you have 2 boys, for example, what would be your lessons to give to them inside an MMA gym, or if they want to choose to go on a professional path?
Yeah.
Boys or girls? No sexes. No, boys or girls.
If I would say, if I had kids, I would definitely get them to start doing jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is an amazing sport. Just to defend yourself. I mean, I look at my wife who does jiu-jitsu, and she's absolutely crushing it at the moment. She dedicates so much time to it, and it actually inspires me as well, to even work even harder, because she shows me stuff, and she's only been doing jiu-jitsu for, I think, 4 years.
Oh, that's
so
good.
I think jiu-jitsu is an amazing base. I would definitely have my kids wrestle a little bit as well. I think wrestling is very rough on the body. So I would say jiu-jitsu is better in that aspect, and obviously boxing and a bit of Muay Thai, just to be a very well-rounded fighter. And I would say find a good coach. Find someone that you gel well with, and that can teach you how to fight, because fighting is not easy. There's a lot of things that go into it, mentally, physically, nutrition, recovery. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. So if you want to take it seriously, you've got to invest in all those things and educate yourself. And educate yourself more than learn. That's one thing. I've got a nutritionist. I literally ask him every time, like, what do I need to do? But I've been doing it for so long, I still ask him. So I'm lazy. So I just ask him. learn it yourself, so that you don't need to depend on anybody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cool. Martin, we're down to the last 2 questions. I think we're gonna beat Eskom here, so that's great. Just tell me quickly, what are Martin van Staden's pet peeves? If I must ask your wife, for example, what's the most irritating thing about you? What would she tell us, or what can you tell the fans, like something they don't know about Martin van Staden, like one of your worst habits?
I do not listen.
Oh, like your nutritional coach also.
No, my wife says she talks to me and I don't listen. I think that's all men, right?
I would have thumbs up.
Probably leaving my clothes around. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll pop a message one down on
yeah, you can ask her. She'll tell you the same thing.
I don't want to open up a can of worms. I'd rather just leave it.
I'm gonna get choked just now.
Okay, cool. And last but not least, Martin, just tell us is the Punisher going for a title run at the Warriors, at UAE Warriors, or you're just taking it and gonna enjoy the ride now? Do you have any goals with UAE Warriors and objectives with the promotion?
Yeah. See, so I'm supposed to have one more fight there. My manager is busy looking for a big payday for me, so I'm looking to get into a $1 million Grand Prix somewhere.
Nice.
So I want to get a win here and then see which avenues we're going to choose. I mean, UAE is an amazing organization. If that's the next step, if they ask me to do that, then cool, I'll do that. But I want to get into a $1 million Grand Prix or go to Risen or Bellator or PFL. That's one of the the big promotions. I feel I have enough in the gas in the tank to still make a run, at any of those organizations. So let's see. At the moment, I'm just taking it one fight at a time, and I sit with my coach and I'll speak to Rich, and then we'll make a decision on what the next move is after this. But anything, I don't know if the UAE title shot will happen after this, because I think I want to pursue a bigger promotion after this fight.
Understood. Martin the Punish van Staden, thank you so much for your time, brother. For the fans watching, be sure to check him out on UAE Warriors. We'll be posting all the links and all the dates and times. Let's support our boyki. And Martin, God bless your family, brother, and all the best for the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Cheers, brother, man. Keep well.
Yes.